Well, eating is something we all do 3 times a day, 2 times a day. Today, everyone is eating thoughtlessly, without conscience, without knowledge. And that is why we are being driven into a system that has given us 50% of the greenhouse gases. Food and agriculture in the industrial model is 50% of the climate problem. Most people don't see that. They only look at energy. But the biggest energy is food. The right food gives you positive energy. The bad food makes you exhausted, sick. 75% of all planetary destruction is because of industrial farming, deforestation, disappearance of water, desertification, disappearance of species, all because of the chemicals, pesticides, herbicides we're using. 75% of the chronic diseases, the new manifesto of Navdanya on food for health shows that chronic diseases are related to bad food. Now, if you think eating properly is a luxury, just think of the hospital bill when you get cancer. Think of the hospital bill when you get diabetes. Health is not a luxury. The keywords of ecology, which is a combination of agriculture and ecology, which means ecology in the field of agriculture, which is the reason I'm in agriculture, starting with 1984, when the Punjab problem started. I wanted to work on ecology in agriculture. Ecology means the science of life. Agriculture means the culture of the land. The two together create the scientific principles of a sustainable farming systems. They're principles of recycling organic matter, therefore organic farming is central to agroecology. Circular economies, biodiversity, you cannot do farming without chemicals if you don't replace those chemicals with biodiversity. So your biodiverse crops take care of the pests. In a biodiverse farm, you don't have pests, you have lots of insects. In a biodiverse farm, you have lots of food to eat, you don't have weeds that overtake your crop. In biodiverse farms, we have more water. Therefore, you can deal with a drought. So, agroecology's key terms are biodiversity, the law of return, circular economies, and real food. Well, innovation means to give new form of that which exists. That's the roots of the word innovation. So, when you change your clothes, you are innovating for that morning. When a seed is planted and it becomes a crop, that is innovation in nature. When farmers work with the seed and breed and evolve new varieties, that is innovation. The word innovation, its meaning has been changed, and it is now defined as the destructive, unimaginative acts of violence against the earth, against our food, against our biodiversity, by those who would, through this violence, appropriate and extract, monopolize and patent. And that is why we have an epidemic of GMOs. Why GMOs? Because Monsanto said it so clearly. Through GMOs we will take patents on life. That is why I started Navdanya. Why are they trying to get rid of the food that grows all over and put it into labs? Because then they control it, it becomes a commodity. Whereas if I grow my oak tree and have acorns and grow healthy food, chestnuts, all the diversity of forgotten foods, we have saved 4,000 varieties and we have brought back forgotten foods. More nutritious, we can feed 2 times India's population. That is innovation. Our systems of farming with the earth help farmers earn 10 times more than the commodity farmers. Good, ecological, biodiverse, chemical-free, fresh, local food is the secret to health. That's innovation. I think the word novel has been introduced into areas where novel cannot be. Evolution can happen. Evolution means that which evolves into its new phase. When a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, it's not becoming a novel organism. It is an evolutionary transformation. This novel word has come up when they wanted GMOs. GMO foods were called novel foods. We created the movement and showed what a GMO means, putting toxic genes, scrambling the genome of nature, creating effects. Today we've seen the failure of GMOs. Roundup Ready has failed to control weeds. Bt toxin has failed to control pests in India, and farmers have died because of the debt. Novel foods now of taking cells from an animal, multiplying them in a lab, and calling it non-violent is an absolute violation of the human imagination, human relationship with nature, as well as food. 3 reasons. First, animals have been part of ecological agriculture systems forever. Making a cell grow in a lab is violence at the cellular level, and we have done no tests of what that means to the 100 trillion gut microbes in our gut microbiome. No tests of health, safety, because our gut microbiome, 100 trillion, needs different tastes. If you keep stuffing yourself with that cellular meat and say, this is not meat, you are, through the so-called novel food, living a daily life of living a lie. But first, Gandhi said it so beautifully. When someone said, I will not wear leather slippers because I don't want to do violence to the cow. Gandhi said, the cow gives us everything. She gives us milk, she gives us cow dung, the male gives us animal energy, and when she's dead, she gives us leather. People who work with leather are craftspeople. They have a livelihood. When you say you will wear a synthetic rubber slipper, you are doing violence to the person who made a living, because if life is about relationships, then non-violence has to be tested in terms of all the relationships, not the commodified novel foods that come from the same toxic companies. The same companies are pushing fake meat, fake cheese, fake milk, and wanting us to kill the living planet. The living planet has one currency. The currency of life is food. Food moves from the soil organisms upwards to the plant, from the plants to the insects, from the insects to the birds. This amazing wheel of life is a web of food. Anyone who says, finish off the animals, finish off the insects, finish off this, finish off that, is saying, finish off the earth, and I'll live a toxic life in a lab. The idea of synthetic meat is false for 2 reasons. If I'm a vegetarian, there's so much the earth has given us that I don't need to hanker for meat. We have been the land of pulses and dal. Italy has been the land which made the Mediterranean diet big by the West discovering that beans can be an important source of protein. It was a sleeping industrial civilization that had just woken up to proteins from plants. But synthetic meat is 2 kinds. One is you put genetically modified soya that has absolutely trampled the Amazon, destroyed the forest, killed the indigenous people, and sprayed Roundup, killing life, done violence at every level, and you turn it into a pretend burger. That is not a non-violent burger. But if it is cellular material and genetic material you're using of meat itself, then it is a meat burger, and you should be honest, you are a meat eater.